Release the Kraken!
And hello again, Star Trek fans. We are coming back at you with part 2 of the Starfleet Academy 101. We're going to cover this group by group, basically, officer groups that is. Next up in officers that you will receive shards for is going to be the Starfleet Academy folks. When you're first starting out in the game, the Another Time officer group is the basic crew group that you gain officer shards for. But after a few levels, you will start getting some Starfleet Academy officers. And since that's the second group that you will basically run into in your gameplay, we're going to go over them as well. The interesting thing about the Starfleet Academy officers and any other officers is sometimes one or two officers from a group are going to be long-term playable officers. There are actually 3 officers in this group that you will basically use for the rest of your time playing this game, and we will get to those as we do. Anyway, now we're going to dive in, see what we got going on. And the first officer in the group is Gala. You may remember her from the first Star Trek reboot movie. She was really good friends with Cadet Kirk. Gala is a engineering officer. And we're going over these on this account, and yes, most of these are going to be max statted, but we can go over their different abilities. Gala has an attack rating, relatively okay defense rating. She has a more than average health rating for her tier of an officer. As we've covered over in the below deck stacking videos, these are the numbers that you're reaching for when you are stacking your below decks to maximize your ship's ability. Her captain's maneuver. Gala increases the partial rewards for defeating hostiles by 25%. And then, of course, she has her officer's ability. If the opponent is a hostile, Gala decreases the damage from its critical hits by 50%. This could come in fairly handy when fighting things, say, like swarms that have a much higher than normal critical percent chance, or any other hostile that has a higher critical percent chance. And, of course, if you are out and about and just needing to farm partial, why not throw her on there? And of course, her officer ability is tiered up. Starting at tier 1 when you first get her, that is only a 10% chance. That tiers up from 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50%. A lot of your officers are going to be relatively lackluster when you first get them, but unlocking higher tiers is going to make them more versatile and of more benefit to you as they progress. Next on the docket, we have Chev, a Kriya. I'm not even quite sure what type of alien he is, but he's most definitely alien. He is also another engineering officer, and as far as his stats go, he is more of an attack-based officer with an okay defense and an okay health. As far as his captain's ability, it is a Tritanium Hunter. He's going to be the guy that you're going to load up on your captain slot if you're going to just go out and blaze hostiles in the pursuit of sweet Tritanium. And of course, his officer ability is Justice Dealer. If the opponent is a hostile, Chev increases the damage of the energy weapons of the ship by 20%. As far as scaling goes, when you first unlock this officer, that will be a disappointing 5%, and it goes from 5 to 7 to 10 to 15 to 20. He's an interesting officer based on the amount that he can increase the damage of your ship by. But he's going to be incredibly lackluster if it is not a high-tiered ship. At lower levels, you're usually blasting through your ships at a fairly quick pace and not tearing them up, or at least I hope you're not tearing them up, because that's a waste of resources in the long run. But here in a bit, we'll show you how those actually work. Next in our lineup, we have Tilan. Tilan is going to be your best friend for a long time. She is an engineering officer, or excuse me, not an engineering, science officer. She has an okay attack rating. She has a better than okay defense rating and a less than okay health rating. Her captain's maneuver, thorough scans. Tilan increases the ship experience gained by 15%. She's a great captain when you're taking her out and about and grinding EXP on hostiles, tearing up low-level ships, getting them leveled up for more officer slots when doing your dailies, doing your grinding or anything like that. but the reason she's going to be your best friend for a long time. Tilan has objective defense. If the opponent is a hostile, Tilan decreases the damage done by its kinetic weapons by 20%. Of course, this is at max tier. When you first get her, it's 5, then it tiers to 7, 10, 15, and 20. Tilan is going to be one of your key officers for a long time when you are hunting swarms, based on the fact that swarms do solely kinetic damage. Also, Klingon Interceptor type hostiles over in Klingon space are also kinetic based officers, or excuse me, kinetic based ships. So you will be using her to farm those as well if you are out farming your Klingons. She's going to be part of your basic swarm hostile hunting crew from now until infinity. Then, of course, we have Velque. He is a Moncheskin. Anyway, he is another science officer, and he is banging across the board. So 100, 100, and 100 for both all attack, defense, and health. Captain's ability, Dilithium Hunter. When you're at lower levels, getting that dilithium can be a bit of a struggle, but there are certain hostiles in certain systems that is what they drop, and you can throw him in the captain's chair, head on over and blast battleships to your heart's content in order to get those dilithium rewards. Of course, we've got surgical. There's a proper way to pronounce that. I can't remember what it is. Anyway, if the opponent is a hostile, they'll increase the damage made by the kinetic weapons of the ship by 20%. Another moderately useful, if used properly, officer ability. And of course, tiering up, that's 5, 7, 10, 15, and 20 as well. And then we have Grace Chen. Grace is going to be your first time stepping from common officers to uncommon. And as you can see, much higher officer ability. As far as attack goes and defense goes, both of them are pretty decent amount, and her health rating is okay. Her captain's ability modifications. Chen increases the dodge, shield deflection, and armor of the ship by 20% against hostiles. Works against hostiles under level 50. She's going to allow you to take more hits and last longer in the field. And then, of course, the reason she is going to be your best friend from now until you quit the game. Energy Absorber. If the opponent is a hostile, Chen decreases the damage done by its energy weapons by 30%. Works against hostiles under level 50. She is one of the key components and was later known as the PMC crew, Pike, Moreau, and Chen. And of course, with the way synergy works between Pike, Moreau, and Pike's captain ability, that brings that damage reduction from 30% all the way up to 90%. You're going to be out farming hostile explorers, you're going to be out farming hostile trade ships for your rep grinds, faction dailies. Basically, once you unlock Pike, Moreau, and Chen, that will be your hostile farming crew from now until forever. And last but not least, in the Starfleet Academy crew, of course, you have your command officer, Lucia Gonzalez. As far as attack goes, she's got a decent attack, she's got decent health, and she's got decent defense. Or, excuse me, a little bit less on the defense anyway. As you can see, I don't have her promoted to max tier. I just didn't want to. Captain's ability, Solution Finder. If the opponent is a hostile, Gonzalez increases the chance of dealing a critical hit by 8%. That can be some pretty decent damage. And then, of course, her officer ability. If the opponent is a hostile, Gonzalez increases the damage of critical hits by 20%. When you first unlock her, it's 5, it goes up to 10, 15, 20, and then at final tier, it is 30%. And then last up on this video, I wanted to show you a little bit about the crews on an actual ship and give you an explanation on how certain things work. Now, we've got our Chen as our captain, we've got Tilan as an officer, and we've got Velque as an officer. The reason I have Velque on here is he has that kinetic damage increase. And right now we've got everything set, so we're going to go ahead and back out. So, with synergy, Chen increases the dodge, shield deflection, and armor of the ship by 40% against hostiles. It works against hostiles under level 50. This doesn't kick off until the beginning of combat. And then, for example, if we're going to look at the defense, the main primary defense of the ship is dodge. So that is 3,469. 469 times 0.4. So that is going to increase the dodge of the ship by 1,387 at the start of combat. And then of course if we're going to look at it, we've got Vel here. And here's how you determine how officers like Vel and Chev actually work. We're going to take a look at the weapons. So in combat, he's actually going to increase the damage here and here by 20%. So the minimum damage that your kinetic weapons are going to do per round is going to be 1,513 plus 302, so that's 1,815 damage. And then of course the maximum damage is going to go up by 370 roughly. So that's going to bring it up to 2,100, 2,200. Math is hard. Around 2,200. That's how officers like Chev and Vel actually work when they say they're going to increase damage. Chev, of course, wouldn't work on this ship because this is a Findra. Both weapons are kinetic. The firing pattern on a Findra, of course, is both guns every other round. And then, of course, we've got Tilan on here for good measure. Oop, wrong one. If the opponent is a hostile, decreases damage by 20%. So if you're out farming with this particular lineup, you're going to save yourself a bit of damage all the way around, both from energy and kinetic, plus the defensive boost and the damage increase, which means hopefully shorter, quicker fights. And that's all we've got right now for Starfleet Academy 101 Part 2. As always, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you found it informative and would like to see more, hit subscribe. Try to put out a video at least once a week, if not every couple of days. And as always, until next time, stay safe, have fun, and good luck, folks. See you again.